What is going on, world? What's up, YouTube? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new episode of the 8 Below Show. Welcome everyone to 8 Below, the best entertainment related show here on YouTube. And I'm super excited about our episode here today. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so let's get into it. Enter the Matrix was a title, guys, that I played all the way back in 2003 when this game released. And I've got to say, guys, I absolutely loved what they were going for, that being the developers, being Shiny Entertainment, of course the Wachowskis, being the directors of Enter the Matrix. They were also the directors, of course, of the original trilogy. They're going to also be directing none other than The Matrix 4. And I wanted to talk about what happened here to Enter the Matrix and why haven't we gotten an Enter the Matrix 2? Could we see a continuation of this IP with the release of The Matrix 4? And, kind of want to break it down, want to go ahead and give some speculation as well as just some rumblings and talks of what could be coming. And I would love to hear your guys' thoughts about this in the comment section down below. So let's get into it. So according to the Wikipedia page, guys, for Enter the Matrix, it was released in 2003, the same month as The Matrix Reloaded. Enter the Matrix was simultaneously produced with The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions and released for the GameCube, Microsoft Windows, PlayStation 2, and Xbox. So this was a game, guys, that, came out a long time ago. And what we can obviously, tell here is that, coming out in 2003, it was made and brought out the same month as The Matrix Reloaded. And, it was kind of produced with, the Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions in mind and such. And what I'm going to say is that usually when we talk about, what happened to a series, an IP in particular, a lot of it comes down to two things, and we've always talked about this. Number one is, of course, the sales, because really, at the end of the day, guys, they want to know and make sure that they're making enough to justify a sequel. Number two is the critical reception. If it's, just reception in general, is it good, is it bad, and so on and so forth. But here's the thing. The reason why I brought this up, very first, that being Enter the Matrix was simultaneously produced with The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, is because when we think of those other two, titles outside of, or movies outside of the original The Matrix, people don't really think that Matrix Reloaded and Matrix Revolutions were very good whatsoever. Now, me personally, guys, I liked the Matrix Reloaded. A lot of the graphics and such I just didn't feel were, in the, CGI that they used within the Matrix Reloaded, I just felt it was, you could tell in so many instances throughout the course of the movie where they were using CGI and how it just didn't really look very good. However, I liked the concepts that were in the Matrix Reloaded. Sure, not as good as the Matrix, but I thought it was okay. I thought it was better than what most people were saying. Now, the Matrix Revolutions was really an unfortunate step in the wrong direction in a major way. I think that was definitely a valley for the Matrix as a franchise, and I'm hoping that, they get it right, that being the Wachowskis with the Matrix 4. But I think with Enter the Matrix coming out the same month as The Matrix Reloaded, that right there hurt it. Even though I think Enter the Matrix was great. I absolutely loved this title, guys. It was awesome being able to do bullet time and such. Kind of gave you these Max Payne vibes, but like Max Payne on steroids in Enter the Matrix. But it coming out, being produced, with, The Matrix Reloaded and then obviously The Matrix Revolutions, that right there, guys, with those two titles, that's just, not necessarily saying it's dead on arrival, but people aren't going to give it a chance because, of the critical reception that was The Matrix Reloaded and the real bad backlash of The Matrix Revolutions. Now, like I said, though, comes down to, guys, a lot of the reception as well as just, how much this game made. Well, by February 2004, global sales of Enter the Matrix across all systems had surpassed 4 million units, according to Atari. By July 2006, the PlayStation 2 version of Enter the Matrix had sold 1.2 million copies and earned 58 million in the United States. Next Generation ranked it as the 39th highest-selling game launched for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, or GameCube between January 2000 and July 2006 in that country. Combined sales of Enter the Matrix console releases reached 1.9 million units in the United States by July 2006. Worldwide, the game sold 5 million units. So when you hear 5 million units, guys, and you gotta put it into context here. Back then, in 2003, guys, when this game was released, 5 million units, sure. You give it a few years, but 5 million units is pretty good. I mean, especially for a first title in an IP like this. Now, as far as how much it cost them to make it, it's hard to say. But for 5 million units, guys, for a brand new IP, even though they're using, the Matrix and kind of putting they're encompassing everything around those concepts from the Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions, even things from the Matrix itself. That's pretty good. I mean, that's a pretty good number. So for me, at least, I wouldn't say that it was necessarily the amount that they made off of Enter the Matrix. I would say it was actually more so probably the reception, but the real critical reception to the movies is actually what met the demise of Enter the Matrix. So as far as Enter the Matrix, it received mixed or average reviews according to video game review aggregator Metacritic. So what we can see from the reception that was Enter the Matrix, we can kind of see that, there were certain places that gave it really good reviews, like, for example, Game Informer gave it an 8.5 out of 10, which is really good. But then you got Eurogamer giving it a 4 out of 10. You got GameSpot giving it a 6.4 out of 10, which is okay. IGN 7.2 out of 10. So overall, I would say yes, it was definitely averaged, and some of it was mixed, because that's a big discrepancy between 8.5 out of 10 from Game Informer and Eurogamer gave it a 4 out of 10. So there's a lot of discrepancy. Now, here's what I will say though. I will say that it's pretty much like an average when it comes to the reception, pretty average. So I don't think it was necessarily poor. I wouldn't say it was great either. It was just kind of, middle of the group, so to speak, when it comes to, other games that you can compare it to. But Enter the Matrix had a lot of really interesting concepts. I thought that they did a great job with this game. I thought it was a very fun game, guys. Back in 2003, it was awesome. Even from a graphical standpoint, I thought the graphics were pretty good for what it was. And I thought that, just overall, I enjoyed it. Bullet time was obviously the main thing, but it was really cool being able to go into this world and really kind of go into this living, breathing, space in Enter the Matrix. And it was really a fun experience, to me at least. But I think that what met the demise of Enter the Matrix, now this is going to lead us to, will we see Enter the Matrix 2 at some point? I think that they would have made or continued to make Enter the Matrix games had the reception of the movies been better. The Matrix Reloaded, guys, did not do very well from a reception perspective. Some people enjoyed it, like myself. Lots of people did not, though. Matrix Revolutions, I think overall most people did not like the Matrix Revolutions. They've tried different things in each of those movies, but I felt that, the Matrix, the reason why it was so well received by everyone was just because it was pretty grounded. It was kind of like the origins and everything of the Matrix, and I thought that they could have taken a lot of those things to the next level. And the Matrix Reloaded, I feel like they tried too hard with CGI and such, instead of maybe using more practical effects. And the Matrix Revolutions, they even took it to even a more, extreme place. Now, the Wachowskis coming back to work on Matrix 4. You've got Keanu Reeves returning as Neo, which is awesome. You got pretty much the cast is returning, which is great to hear. It's not going to be like new cast members, because you would think that Keanu Reeves, after what was that original trilogy and how, critical people were of, especially the Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, you would almost think like Keanu would want to stay away from that. But there must be something special about what the Wachowskis are cooking up for the Matrix 4. Now that leads me to Enter the Matrix 2. Will we see it, guys? I actually think that there's a good chance that we may see a sequel to Enter the Matrix if the Matrix 4 does, pretty good from a reception perspective. It may bring back Enter the Matrix. Now, one thing that we may see is Enter the Matrix come back as like a remastered version, and they add some things to it. Maybe not necessarily a true sequel like Enter the Matrix 2. Maybe it will be just Enter the Matrix remastered or something of that nature, just to kind of bring out or release around the same time as the Matrix 4, especially if, Shiny Entertainment or whoever ends up making the game, whether it's Warner Brothers Games or whatever it might be, especially if, this Enter the Matrix 2 or, 2.0 or remastered, whatever you want to call it, especially if that along with The Matrix 4 is kind of something that Shiny Entertainment and Warner Brothers and such feel that there's something special there. I think Enter the Matrix will come back. I would love to see it. It would definitely, it gets you all excited, because I remember when The Matrix Reloaded came out that same month, back when Enter the Matrix was released, just by watching The Matrix Reloaded, it got me to want to keep playing Enter the Matrix. Even though I know The Matrix Reloaded was not as good. It was definitely a downgrade from the original Matrix movie. But Enter the Matrix I thought was great. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I mean, I thought Enter the Matrix was great. It was a way to kind of go into that world, and I would love to see them further explore the Matrix within Enter the Matrix, having, single player modes, multiplayer co-op. Like, that would be absolutely awesome. So do I think it'll happen? It's really hard to say, guys. It's been so long. You would almost feel like Enter the Matrix would be like a reboot or like a remastered version. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below about Enter the Matrix. Do you guys want to see this return with The Matrix 4 being released? Let me know. And for more Enter the Matrix content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. With the first round of Phase 5 in the books, I think we can honestly say, guys, that there were probably thousands upon thousands of submissions that FaZe is going through, and I've got to say for myself, I feel really good about what we accomplished. Doing what we did, guys, 5+ videos a day, 71 videos in total for the Phase 5 Recruitment Challenge. I feel great about where we are, where we stand at this point in time. Whether we win or lose, I'm really happy about it. Well, one thing, guys, that I'm really excited to share with all of you is that a number of us going for the Phase 5 Recruitment Challenge were featured in an article, guys, from Stropsy, which is an esports and streaming site. And I gotta say, it's absolutely incredible to be featured in this article with these other great individuals, which we'll get to here in a sec, guys. Stropsy went ahead and tweeted out on their official Twitter account saying, "In our new series, The Voices of Phase 5, we give those in pursuit of a FaZe Clan recruitment 5 minutes to explain their passion and process to the world." And they featured 6 of us, guys. And if you go to the article, it was written by none other than Jeffrey Jenkins. Let the world know who you are in up to 5 minutes of story and passion. We've reached the end of the Phase 5 Recruitment Challenge, which it's, of course, guys, the first round of the Recruitment Challenge. But over the past 2 weeks, content creators from around the world have grinded relentlessly in hopes of eventually being one of the 5 newest members of the FaZe. You will hear from 6 of these people here. Not only hear them, but get a feel for their personality, spirits, and ambitions. And guys, each one of these creators, commentators, streamers, whatever it might be, guys, these 6 individuals, or I should say 5 individuals, and then myself also being one of them, I would definitely read and listen to each of them from the perspective of there's a SoundCloud. We get up to 5 minutes to explain why we should join FaZe. And I got to say, each one of these, people, individuals in this article, guys, really brought something special to the table. Glizzy, guys, he's a full-time streamer as well as a content creator. Look, each individual you should definitely read about. You should also listen to what they're having to say on SoundCloud. We'll go down to mine, though. Potter, another great individual who does an incredible job, guys, doing real-life trick shots in Call of Duty. He does a really great job as well. But for us, guys, our little segment that was written about us, and it's awesome seeing yourself on like in an article like this, guys, where you're being put in such great company. I mean, these other creators, streamers, commentators, it's amazing being up there with them and being featured in this. 5 videos a day. For a combined 71 videos, that is what the Phase 5 grind consisted of for streamer and content creator Zero, with over 5 podcasts. It was 13 in total, guys, that we did. So yes, over 5 podcasts, 13 in total, and a work ethic of 5 men, pun intended. Zero has made it clear that his effort and dedication to his craft is unquestionable. The relentless pursuit of greatness and an unwavering winner's mentality are the foundation of his Phase 5 RC campaign. And this is why I love this article that Jeff wrote. Because that's not what I said. That's what he said. And each person that was featured in this, he kind of, obviously has been watching carefully. And he nailed it on the head when he stated the relentless pursuit. because that's what we're on, guys. We're on this pursuit. That is what this is all about. He knows, and that's what's so awesome about this article, is that he knows exactly what we're trying to accomplish. It's this idea that we are, putting all of it out there as much as we, feel that we're able to do, and we laid it all out there. And now it's up to other people to kind of dissect, break down, and things of that nature. And the ball is in FaZe's court. And, so that's absolutely awesome, because that is what my Phase 5 campaign was all about. It was all about, wanting it more. It was all about, we are on the pursuit, to do something bigger than anything we thought was possible. And so, that's why I loved this article. It was amazing being featured in this article. Thank you to Stropsy. Thank you to Jeff Jenkins. Big up to you, man. Absolutely awesome. What they put together here, and what they're going to go ahead and do, guys, is when people get to the top 100, they'll probably feature another number of people that made it to the top 100, and then probably to the top 25, and the top 5, and so on and so forth. And it's just really cool to be one of those people that was chosen for this article. And like I said, guys, he nailed it on the head. And that's what we're here for, guys. We're here to win. We're here to, be on that pursuit, to aggressively seek victory, to continue regardless of what happens. Whether we win or lose the Phase 5 Recruitment Challenge, we continue pushing forward, trying to raise the bar on a consistent basis, learning what we did right, what we did wrong, what we can do better moving forward. That's what it's all about, guys. We're on this pursuit of doing this as a full-time ordeal, as doing content creation in a way where, not only do we do it for fun, but, something that we could make it bigger than we ever thought we ever could, right? And so that's what this the Phase 5, Recruitment Challenge campaign was all about. And we won't stop until we get there. And if we do get there, guys, we're just getting started, baby. We're just going to be continuing moving forward and doing what we can to, like I said, continue to raise the bar. But thanks again to Stropsy, Jeff Jenkins, for all of the other, creators, and streamers and such that were on this list. Check out the article, guys. It'll be in the description down below. Ghostrunner is a title scheduled to release in October of this year, and I've got to say, guys, that this is a title that was really intriguing to me, a title that I've been kind of trying to watch relatively closely, and I wanted to go ahead and in this segment of the show talk about everything that we know so far about this title. So let's get into it. In an article written by Tim Harding of GamePer, everything we know about the upcoming action platformer Ghostrunner. And this Ghostrunner, guys, is an upcoming action platformer from One More Level, 3D Realms and Slipgate Ironworks. Set in a cyberpunk universe, you control a wall-running, sword-wielding parkour master who can jump, climb, and sprint their way to destruction. With a blend of post-apocalyptic and sci-fi, the neon lights and rainy buildings feel like a unique environment in which the player can run around. If Mirror's Edge phenomenal parkour gameplay was combined with the highly attractive first-person sword-playing abilities of the Dishonored franchise, you'd end up with Ghostrunner, which is 100% true. Look, this is like a cyberpunk universe. We're seeing this so much, guys, with Cyberpunk, that game coming out as well. We're starting to see more and more games out there that are starting to kind of take this idea, the cyberpunk universe type of style, and do all kinds of different stuff with it. This is kind of, another example of that being relatively, popular, and how cyberpunk could really turn into something really huge in the future. Now, as far as the mechanics are concerned, Ghostrunner is fast-paced with addictive movement and platforming mechanics, making it feel unique from its likenesses while still bringing about the same feeling of running fast and killing everything in your path. Explosions, gore, and speed combine to create a game that is just downright fun and satisfying. Very true. From what we've seen, at least, guys, up to this point in time, what they have shown, it looks to be a really intense, exciting, fast-paced type of style game. The player will receive abilities like Dishonored, such as a slow time ability. These allow the player to achieve as many high-skilled and ridiculous kills as they can. The game is highly punishing for both the player and the enemies, meaning getting one-hit kills seems easy, but it goes both ways. Which I kind of like that concept. I like the concept where it's a highly punishing game for both yourself as well as the enemy. So if you make a mistake, you're going to pay for it. If they make a mistake, that being the AI, they're going to pay for it. This kind of leads me to the question whether or not what's going to be endgame content or what is going to happen. Are they going to release this game with, multiplayer modes as well as, like co-op modes and such? The difficulty of this game is extremely difficult and has been compared to Super Meat Boy in that you'll fail and fail again and again. Trying the same parts repeatedly will lead to learning how to take each jump, each climb, and each fight to create for yourself the best possible scenario going into combat engagements. Learning from mistakes and putting all the abilities available in the arsenal will put the player at peak performance. With some practice and a bit of learning curve, good players will feel like a superhero in no time. And so this is going to be a difficult game, guys. I mean, that's what, it's sounding like from a number of sources that have played the game and such, that it's going to be difficult. It's going to be a tricky game. It's going to be a lot of times that you die and you're just going to have to get better and better as you go. It's going to be one of those games that's going to be easy to play but hard to master. And that's why I'm asking the question about, are we going to be seeing other modes outside of that single player story? Ghostrunner has a release date of 2020 with no specific date set yet. A new Gamescom trailer was released on August 30th, and one more level has alerted us to stay tuned for more details on the 15th. So, it sounds like that, it's presumed that there is going to be a beta, and then that'll be coming before the release. And what I'm hoping for, guys, personally, is that we get, a full package here with Ghostrunner. And even if that means like endgame content, things that we can do after, the game comes out, they continue to service and add things to Ghostrunner. This seems to be a pretty special title, in my opinion. It kind of, like I said, it reminds us of, Cyberpunk, like kind of those vibes. Reminds us of Dishonored, which is pretty exciting as well. What this game could all entail could be something really special, but we're just going to have to kind of wait and see, guys, as time goes, what all it's going to encompass. Because really, I mean, it sounds like they were stating that it was going to come out in October, but at the end of the day, guys, I mean, we're already in October, and it doesn't really sound like this is a game that's going to release as of yet. I think it may be delayed to next year, but we'll have to wait and see. I'll be sure to keep you guys all up to speed as more information comes out. Let me know in the comment section down below. What do you guys think about Ghostrunner? What are your thoughts? Are you intrigued by this? Are you definitely going to buy it? Or are you going to stay away from it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Ghostrunner content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. I want to talk about Fortnite and this esport of, Fortnite and in kind of, obviously it's had a shaky history, without a doubt. But at the same time, guys, I want to talk in this segment of the show about why isn't Fortnite esports being really continued in a major way? Why isn't it being serviced majorly by Epic Games at this point in time? So let's talk about that. Guys, Fortnite, for me, and I've stated this before, I'll say it again, that it's a title that I absolutely loved when it first came out, but then when the building aspect of Fortnite started getting really intense and was one of those things that you had to put so much time into just to kind of keep up with what other people were doing, that's where it kind of lost me. It got so competitive, and so the level of difficulty, in my personal opinion, got to a level, unlike many games I've seen out there. Now, I've also said this, Fortnite is one of those titles from an esports perspective, and just from a casual, gamer perspective, it's one of my favorite games to watch, from the esports side as well as just, watching it from a casual perspective. I love watching Fortnite. I just love watching it because it's a game I'm not like amazing at. It's a game that I believe takes immense amounts of skill. From building to editing to, having that precise aim and such. There's just so much that goes into it. StarCraft, and StarCraft 2 in particular, in my opinion, is the best viewer experience, and has been in the past, in my opinion, of any esport in the world. And I just think that the level of difficulty, it's like the tennis of esports. It's like, 1v1, and it just takes, you just see how draining each game is as these players are playing, and they got to motivate themselves, just them alone, and just the amount of things that they're doing on that mouse and keyboard is unlike any game you'll ever see. Now, the StarCraft 2 was that game for a very long time. When Fortnite came out and Fortnite Esports came out, I got that same feeling about the esports side of Fortnite. I felt to myself, this reminds me of StarCraft, because StarCraft 2 it's another one of those games where it's easy to play, but it's very hard to master, and it is a game where there's just not much room for error. Really, it's very unforgiving at the highest level. The same thing here with Fortnite esports. It's very unforgiving, and you got to be on top of your game. You got to be, when you're trying to be the best in the world, it is crazy what these guys have to do. And what I'm going to say, guys, is that I got that same feeling, though, with Fortnite esports as I did with StarCraft 2 esports. This thought that, Fortnite has something very special here. Just from a viewership perspective, it's awesome to watch the pros play Fortnite. It's so much fun to see the building and how quick they are and how good they are at it. And, that's just my opinion, guys. I absolutely love watching it, and I want it to be serviced, like, in a major way. And it seems like Epic Games doesn't seem to care as much about servicing Fortnite as an esport. They're servicing Rocket League as an esport, making that free to play and things of that nature, which is great for Rocket League. But you got this other title, Fortnite. Why can't there be, this significant competitive nature to Fortnite? I mean, I understand they want everyone to be able to play it, but there comes a point where when you have a game that's got this potential to be an esport, and a massive esport, to say the least, you should service that. Whether it's, by separating playlists and such, where some people have those casual playlists where all the casual gamers are playing. You've got the competitive side of things, which, they're separating these things in ways, but it's just not serviced like, when they were doing the Fortnite World Cup and such. It's changed. And, I think it may get a lot of the pros to end up moving over to other games. Now, Fortnite is still a massive game, so whether you're playing it at a very high level, you can, of course, stream, you can create content around it, which is great. But I just think that for Epic Games, Fortnite has something very special and unique that no one else has. There's a lot of course, skill that is put into this. I think that, having it like kind of based around teams would actually be a really smart decision, to, at least in my opinion, to continue like squads or duos moving forward in the esports side of things. I get this feeling that Epic Games doesn't really care much for the esports side. They want just Fortnite to reach the masses, and they don't want to really service the esports side of things because Fortnite was built on just casual fun. But I just feel that there's so much potential there, and I would really hate to see this title not go down that route of, continuing to really service their esports. Whereas they're focusing all of it on, say games like Rocket League, which Rocket League is a great esport. Don't get me wrong, guys. It's a great esport. I'm very excited that's free to play. It's going to reach a huge audience, and it's going to continue to grow over time. But if Epic Games did that as well with Fortnite, I mean, it would be so huge. It just continues to grow the legacy, the story of Fortnite. We're talking tournaments, guys, that were the biggest tournaments like all time for, when we're talking about just esports in general. I mean, there's something there. And so I really want to see them continue that moving forward. And I understand a battle royale, it's difficult to do it well with esports. I understand that. But there's definitely, you continue the trial and the error. You keep on trying different things, and they were doing that. But it just feels that they really let off the gas. And I'm not talking about just throwing money at it like crazy like they did. I'm talking, just kind of continuing to service it, figuring out what they're doing right, wrong, and what they can do different moving forward. I mean, we're talking Fortnite has done so much for gaming, guys. It's responsible for taking us from where we were in gaming to the next level. It brought out superstars in Ninja and so many other creators and streamers and such. I mean, it did so much for gaming as a whole. It did more for gaming than any other one game has done, I mean, ever in history. We could say that StarCraft really started esports for, just in a major way, and kind of making it more mainstream, and StarCraft 2 in particular, making it more mainstream, in like 2010. But I mean, still, you could look at, other, titles out there and that kind of raised the bar and kept on moving us forward as an esport, within esports and gaming as a whole. But Fortnite took us, shot us up in such a huge way. It made gaming like mainstream. You had so many other, athletes, musicians, comedians, other creators out there, actors, actresses playing Fortnite. And so what I'm getting at, guys, is that I don't know if we'll ever see something like it again. And Fortnite has cemented itself in history from an esports perspective and from a gaming perspective. But I want to see that continue. I don't want to just see it kind of start slowly fizzling out over time. It's never going to hit the numbers it did. But I think that there's something there. It's special. Continue the esports side of it. It needs to continue, guys. That story is far from over. It's very fresh. It's very new. So I really hope Epic Games decides to continue servicing it in a major way. Let me know what you guys think, though. Do you guys think that the reason why it's not being serviced as much is just because it's not, kind of Battle Royale is difficult to make into an esport, or what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section down below. And for more Fortnite content and videos, stay here with Zero TV. And with that being said, everyone, I hope you guys did enjoy this episode of the 8 Below Show. And if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.